exciting. So you guys are going to see me look all over the place because tonight we are trying to not only go live to our normal places, but we're trying to include our Instagram family, right? I'm about working smarter and not harder. And I said, since I go live once already to you guys, I might as well go live to everybody at the same time. So I'm trying to figure out the best place to put you guys. There we go. Instagram's right here. That's a little better because I feel like I was looking totally different directions there for a sec. But hello to all the families, to all the peeps, all the places. Right now we're streaming. Where are we? We're on LinkedIn. We're on Facebook. We are in our private community, and we are now on Instagram. So super excited. It's funny that I'm even worried about eye contact because y'all know my eyes are everywhere. It's part of my eye condition, but I be trying. I be trying. So just pretend and we're going to get there just fine. But again, hello, happy Monday. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Corey Fonville Foster, and I am the owner of iRock Marketable Business Solutions. We are based here in Virginia, USA, and we help small business owners, coaches, consultants solve big marketing and sales problems on a budget. All right, it's all about affordability here at iRock, and we are super excited that you are here with us. We do these Monday night talks every single Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I always have to throw a little caveat out there. The one place I guarantee I will stream to is our private community. We have an amazing group of coaches and consultants that are all striving to make 2023 their year. And so we are really engaged in that community. But I've been trying to just jump around and see what other communities we have would enjoy this content. We may even do some streaming to YouTube soon. We're just going to see who's enjoying it, who's engaging, and whoever wins, we keep. The top 3 platforms we will keep. But for today, Instagram, welcome to the iRock fam. We're going to do better on Instagram. We're going to do better by y'all because I realize I haven't been showing you guys enough love. So welcome. We, like I said, we do this every Monday and we have a good old time. There we go. So where are my notes? Where are my notes, people? All right. So when we do these sessions, I always like to start with some announcements, just so we are all on the same accord. So I already told you Monday Night Lives every Monday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're in the private community, you guys get to know ahead of time what topics are coming up. If you're on our email list, you also get a reminder of the topics in case you want to RSVP, in case you want to set your, put in your calendar, set your alarm, what have you. But even if you're like, I don't know what the topic is, still join us because, like I said, we have a good time. There's a chance to win prizes, and we also always give you some value. All right. So let's go ahead and get into some announcements here. All right, so, and I'm so sorry, there is like a group chat going on and people are like blowing it up right now. So if I have to turn it off, I will. But all right, so announcements. All right, so it is March is almost here. Just another couple days? That's so crazy. But one of the sessions we have here at iRock is our iRock Masterclasses. It's something new we started in January, and what that is once to twice a month we bring in experts who don't do what iRock does, but do something that our community would really enjoy. Already we've brought you guys a lawyer to talk about how to make sure you are doing things on the up and up, right? That you're not going to end up losing your coins because of you not being in congruence with the law. You had to know what the law was, right? So we had someone come and do that. We also had a financial advisor teach us where to put our money once we get it. We're all about being successful this year. You need to know how to keep your money legally and where to put your money to make sure your money can make money. Okay, who wants their money to make money? I know I do. So we had someone come for that. Our last session last week was so much fun with Kevin Wayne Johnson. He came and talked to us about speaking with influence, and he gave us a really cool take. I know people who were there really enjoyed it. There were loads of questions. Just about really getting into the power of your voice and understanding how to put together your talks and start brainstorming about if you want to do this to get paid, if you want to do it for value. It was really a really good time. So we have another masterclass coming up, and that one is March 14th. All right, March 14th. And let me look at the time. It is going to be at Look at my little screen, it's so small. It's at 6 p.m. I do believe it says. And that one is your headshot strategy. And I am super excited that you guys get to meet Peggy. Oh my goodness. We have had so much fun. Excuse me, we've had so much fun connecting and collaborating this year. Peggy was somebody that I got introduced just this year, this calendar year, and she has taught me so much about showing up on camera. Now, if you guys see, I love me some pictures. I love to get all dressed up and cute. But she talked to me about really understanding the nuances of your headshot, about, even we had a really deep conversation about how to get the most out of my photo shoot, what to look for in a photographer. She just gave so much value. So she's going to be coming, doing about a 30-45 minute presentation for you guys, and then opening up to allow you time to have questions. Now, I know there is somebody, at least one person in the group, if not two, in the private community that does photos. Peggy actually has a course where she teaches photographers how to really brand themselves as photographers, and how to onboard your clients, offboard your clients, and all the things. It's amazing. It's jam packed. Look, I'm not just saying it because I'm a contributor to this. I do a marketing segment on her course, but it's pretty awesome. And like I said, she'll be joining us in March. So please do. And I will put all these links after the talk if you guys are new. I put all the links after the video's over, just because it's a lot. It's a lot of places to put things. But yeah, I will put the link. Please do register for our March masterclass. It's going to be fun. And I will definitely be sure to let you guys know when the next people's master classes show up. And I also will be updating probably later this week with the March Monday Night Lives as well. All right. So we got that all squared away, okay? Second thing we do, besides have quick announcements, church announcements, when we do our Monday night talks, is we have winners. So the way it works is, and it's been harder now that we go to multiple platforms, and I'm doing my best, is if you engage on our Monday Night Live, whether you're live or hashtag replay, you guys get put into a drawing. And from that drawing, I pick at least one person to win a hot seat coaching session. What is a hot seat coaching session? Simply put, it is a chance for you to get on a call with me one-on-one, and we actually do coaching. So you get to ask me any and every question you may have about your business, your products, your services, your pricing, what have you. And I actually give you some strategy tools and a little bit of an action plan right on that 1 hour call. Sorry, that 30-minute call. So that is the way it works. So let's go ahead and talk about who our winners are from last week. A little drum roll. All right, so our winners are Tiffany McBean and Shanita Garris. So Tiffany McBean and Shanita Garris, thank you so much for engaging with the iRock content on one of our lovely platforms. And after the event is over, I will be sure to send you a DM. So please do check so that you can find out how to claim your free hot seat coaching session. Thank you guys so much. All right, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the content. And also, if you're watching, say hello. Say hello. I can see comments, so feel free to tell me what's up, how you doing, you excited to be here, what do you want to learn tonight, where you are in the U.S., whatever you want to say. Definitely engage, because I don't like talking to myself. Like, I know I can see you guys are up here, but yeah, definitely say hello to me. So tonight we're going to be talking about how to make profits before your product is made. And more specifically, even though this can work for different products, we're going to be talking more about a course. Because I find that most of my coaches and consultants, that's one of the places that you guys like to have revenue is courses. One, because it's great passive income, but two, you can teach to the multitudes, right? You can only do so much one-on-one coaching and consulting. You can only do so many gigs a year. But by having some type of course, whether it's a mini course, whether it's a big course, whether it's, multiple courses, it allows you to, one, like I said, shoot to the masses, but you can also consultants. Sorry, look, everything's going off here today. But consultants, you also have the ability to license out this material. So it's evergreen, it's there. And say, for instance, you get a gig, maybe they can't afford your live rate. You can also license this material out. So tonight we're going to be talking about how to pre-sale these products, because it does, like, it takes money to make new products and services. I think just 2 weeks ago we talked about revenue, profits, expenses, and all those things. And if you're really going to make a product, even if it is coaching or what have you, there is going to be some type of financial investment you have to make for you to get this to market. And with that being said, by pre-selling it, it can basically pay for itself. So we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the amazing benefits to pre-selling, and what that would look like for you. So if you look, get your pen and paper together. All right, Phoenix, Arizona, I see you in the house. Get your pen and paper together. We're going to talk about how to pre-sale your course. All right. All right. So let's talk about some of the benefits. I got to remember my notes over here. Good gracious, y'all. Things I do for you guys. All right. So some of the benefits to pre-selling, because you're like, well, I don't know if I really want to do that. I got you. All right. Testimonials, case studies, and just having some type of proof your system works. That's one of your biggest, like, rings in your bell right there, because right now you may have a course and it may be amazing, it may do all the things and more, but if you can't say Johnny did it, Samantha did it, Tommy did it, and this is what they got, people who don't know you or just barely know you are going to have a hard time trusting you enough to really invest, especially if you're pricing where you should be pricing. They're going to be it's going to be a hard sell to get them from, hey, this is new, buy this $5,000 thing. It's like, wait, hold on a second. Who are you? What are you selling? I don't believe this even works. This is a scam. So by pre-selling, you're able to gain some case studies, some testimonials, and get some type of proof before it officially hits the market. Also, you're able to give real-time feedback. Now, this is something you may choose to continue to do or not do as the course again becomes evergreen and it's out there for the masses. But when your cohort is small, right? You've pre-sold it just to, however many people, and they're just going through the system, and they, you're finding, issues, and people have questions. You're able to give them feedback right away, versus if you had done everything, cross all the T's, dotted the I's, at least you thought you did, and then you put it to market and then realize, oh crap, there's some issues here. You would be really hard to fix those things down the line. You'd be very frustrated. But by having you pre-sell it, things are getting dripped out more slowly. You're able to really act and make changes and adjustments very easily. You can drip it out, like I just said, in sections. So say, for instance, you want it to be complete and ready to fully launch in 60 days. Well, during the 60 days, as you create your intro video, module 1, module 2, module 3, etc., you can drip that out, meaning you can actually put into your course platform that things will drop on certain dates. You can manually do it. You can pre-schedule it. And that allows you, again, to see, oops, did I forget this? Oops, does this need to be edited? Ooh, do I want to add this resource, this tip, this guide, this link? You can do that, and it's a lot easier because you're doing it slowly as things come out. You also don't have to waste your time making something that nobody wants. Again, we've talked about this before. When you, as the entrepreneur, fall in love with your product, and you're like, oh, I'm going to make this thing and they're going to love it, and they didn't ask for it and they don't really want it, and now you've spent 6 months making this product that nobody is going to buy. Hey, I see you in Instagram land. You've made this product that nobody wants to buy, and you're frustrated now because you wasted all this time. By pre-selling, people are seeing if your messaging is right. You're seeing if people are excited about the product. You're able to build up hype around the product. And then when people actually buy, then now you know for sure, okay, I'm going to move forward with this with all the bells and whistles, because this is something people are truly going to utilize. You're also, like I said, able to be more hands-on. And then the biggest tip, the biggest things is you, one, will really niche down in your messaging, but more importantly, your course should pay for itself and some, because we're trying to make profit here. It should pay for itself and some. So how do we do that? Because that's the question. All right. I feel like we all on the same page. You're like, yes, I'm going to pre-sell my course. Okay. I actually was on a call today with an editor she edits books, and I was talking about, like, yes, authors should pre-sell their books. Like, she was like, what? She works with clients all the time. She's like, I never would have thought to pre-sell the book. I was like, yes, before the book is finished, pre-sale that joker so that you can pay for the cover art, right? You can pay for somebody to do your ISBN, you can pay for somebody to do your formatting, you can pay for all those things without being in the hole. You'd be surprised people who got a whole bunch of books, right? They've written books, and by the time the book is printer ready, they've already invested hundreds, if not thousands of dollars getting it ready. All the editors, reaching out to publishers. Maybe the publishers did some work. Like it's somebody has paid some money, but you could have pre-sold that book, and then you would have been a lot better off. You would have been able to know, like, okay, everything after this is profit. So, like I said, you can pre-sell pretty much all of your products and services, but for the point of this, because I had to narrow down the scope, we're talking mostly courses. So, how do we do this? First thing I'm gonna ask you to do is build a community. You got to find some people who want what you got. For anybody selling anything, especially my coaches and consultants, build a community of people that already like the content and the concept that you are talking about. Because it makes sense. If they like you, right? We talked about know, like, and trust. If they know you, if they like you, they trust you, they're going to already be more likely to buy from you and give you a fighting chance. So we're going to build a community around whatever your specialty is. So if you teach on DEI, right, diversity, equity, and inclusion, you need to find people who also are interested in learning more about diversity, equity, and inclusion. So when you launch your course on how to be more, have a more diverse, equitable, and inclusive a job, experience, those people are there and ready to go. And so you're going to build your community. And I want you, as the entrepreneur, to be smart about it. I want you to pick one or two platforms. I think sometimes we overreach and we try to grab everybody everywhere. Focus on two platforms, preferably the ones you're more consistent on and the ones where you realize your audience is at. So two platforms, one or two platforms, and you're going to start giving value around what your offer is. So again, back to DEI. If you do DEI stuff, you need to start posting about DEI concepts so that the people are already getting massive value from you. If you are pre-selling a book, like we talked about Anthony, this was it this year? I feel like it was this year, right? This year, maybe late last year, he launched his book on leadership, and actually, IROC was really privileged enough to work with him on his pre-sale. And yeah, he puts out a lot of content around leadership, which is smart. So people are like, oh, he's a leadership guy. So when he put out the book, it made sense. Like, okay, cool. This goes with what he's already been talking about. I'm interested. I want to learn more. So definitely give out content around there. And then also start asking your audience some questions, or start writing down, or keeping track of the questions they have. So if they have specific questions about leadership, well, how do I work with people who I don't even like? Because that's what his book ended up being about. Then it's like, oh yeah, a lot of people, like, they know they have to be leaders at their jobs or in their organizations, but they don't really like everybody and they don't really enjoy the process. Oh, I'm going to write a book about that. A lot of times we need to let our audience guide the products and services we make versus us deciding what we're going to make for them. And we kind of talked about that before as well in another talk, where I was like, yeah, you can't just assume what they need. Of course, we need to understand a lot of the nuances around. They may say one thing but need something a little different, but more than likely people are going to tell you what they need through their questions, their comments, through the conversations you have with them. They're going to say, okay, like, duh, this is what can benefit them. So make sure you're allowing in your community for your audience to ask you questions and let them tell you what they want and need from you. All right. So once you have the audience, you know what they need, right? You like, okay, I got it. I know the product. You're going to build like a course map or a prototype for the course. I don't want you to build out the whole course because, again, what are we trying to do? We're trying to sell before it's made. But I want you to have an understanding, because you need to, in order to sell this product, you need to be able to tell people clearly what they're going to get, even if it's not done yet. So you're going to outline the course, right? We need to know, for the most part, now you may add a few things or change a couple things around, but for the most part, that outline needs to be pretty tight. And it could be something as simple as what each module is going to entail, module, lesson, whatever your platform calls it, the sections of the program. You need to know, what problem are you solving? I can't tell you how many times I encounter an entrepreneur who makes something and I'm just like, well, what did it do? You just gave a whole bunch of information, but what did it solve? If I'm at place A, where's my place B? Because I don't see it. I don't understand. There's a disconnect. it's not about just giving random content. There has to be a solve. There has to be something that when people walk away, they say, aha, I won. I got that win. I figured that out. So make sure you understand what the solve of your product's going to be. Understand what's the structure. Again, how many modules, how many lessons. Have that basic understanding. Know kind of what the format's going to be. Is it going to be video content? Is it going to be mostly written? Are you going to have quizzes? Some basic like structural things. Know what platform you're going to put it on, because that may dictate some things. I can't say how many times people will tell me like what they're making, and I'm saying, what platform are you using? And they'll tell me, and I'm like, that doesn't do that. Well, how are you going to do this? And so we have to kind of talk through that. So know your platform, know the structure in which you plan on putting all the pieces together, and then know your timeline. When is this thing going to come out? Because if you're pre-selling it, people are going to want their product when they want it. I can't tell you, even if you know, like, and trust somebody, if you pay for something and they say you're going to get it on a certain date and you don't get it, that trust starts to dwindle. You start to get a little upset. You ready to, again, we talked about, we had our lawyer come in here and she would have been like, don't get caught out there, and you need to give people refunds and explanations. I actually watched a video recently from a young lady that I've been following forever. And she actually owns Melanin Hair Care. It's a natural hair care company. She started off on YouTube, absolutely amazing entrepreneur. But she ended up in a little bit of a pickle when she pre-sold a product to her audience. And you guys know COVID happened and the distribution chains got all wonky. And the product didn't come in, y'all. The product did not come in. And she was scrambling. And she actually talked about in her video, like her having to keep going back to her audience and re-explaining and offering refunds, and like they had to DM like everybody or email. It was a lot. And granted, I think people want to believe you and people want to give you the benefit of the doubt and they want to work with you. But sometimes enough is kind of enough. And if you pay for something, you expect a product. And sometimes the excuses, whether they're valid or not, just don't matter. And you don't want to end up in a situation where you're having to backpedal. And while it was not her fault at all, right? She literally laid out like, this is what happened. This is how we tried to remedy it. But again, if you're the person sitting at home seeing that money then came out your account on time, right? But your product did not come in time, you're upset. And after a while, you get really upset and you might decide, you know what, that was a bit much. I'm not going to deal with them anymore. Because while all of us are super awesome and unique, there is typically somebody who does at least something similar to what we do. And our customers could easily go over there and get it if we can't supply it, like we said, right? If we can't be people of integrity and keep our word, whether again, it's our fault or not. So just try not to get yourself in a situation in which, yeah, he said so true. Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, get yourself in a situation in which you have to be, working those kind of things out. So understand your timeline. If it's coming out in the fall, when do pre-sales start? When can they get admission? How will they get access to it? And if it's going to be drip, tell them, hey, it's going to come out one lesson a month, one lesson a week, every Tuesday, whatever, and make sure you stay on that. I do recommend, if you're going to drip, be at least like two weeks ahead. So like have it in there set and then ready to go, so you're not working to the last second trying to get it in before it's supposed to come out. Something you do need to have in place, in my opinion, you can play with me if you want, but this is what I'm gonna tell you, is have the welcome section made. Because the way most course platforms work is once somebody purchases it, once the date of them having access hits, they will have access, right? They'll get their login information, their password. You don't want them to go and see nothing. They're like, what is this? So at least, before you even hit your pre-sales, I recommend going ahead and making your welcome module, your welcome section that just says something like, hey, congratulations on purchasing this. You've made the first steps in this. We're going to be doing so many amazing things. Who are we? This is how this works. All the housekeeping things. Give them something to look at. Give them something to look at. And it doesn't have to be super crazy in depth or long. It just needs to explain how to use the software, how to reach out if they have any questions, comments, or concerns, and how amazing they are for getting this product and what they're going to get in the product. Simple as that. But go ahead and have that welcome section made. It shouldn't take you long. If you can't do that, you should not be selling no course. And then make sure, like I said, there's a place for them to put in a support ticket. A lot of course platforms actually have something embedded where they can hit like a discussion or question button, and it'll send you The dogs are going to do it every time. They'll send you an email. So just make sure that's set up. If you have like a specific link you want them to use, maybe you set up a support email. You can also just give them that information there. Like, oh, you lost your password. This is how you do that. So basic stuff. Make sure that's done before you pre-sale. Okay, so now that you got that done, we can start the pre-selling process. Okay, you got your community, you've been doing the things, you building up the hype, you know what you're doing with the course. Let's talk about how we get this to market. So we need you guys need to create a simple sales page. People got to have a way to buy this. It doesn't exist yet. We need to put a place to buy it. So you need to create a simple sales page. It doesn't have to be super fancy. You can always jazz it up later. If tech isn't your thing, this may be something you may have to put a couple of coins in. But we make some simple sales pages for you. Now, I shouldn't say simple. We can make it simple, but we also can do it up too. But again, you don't need a lot, and we'll talk about the different sections you do need to include. But if you can't make a sales page, have somebody make it for you. So I can't get you around that part of the finances. But again, very small investment so far, and we still can quickly make that return. So there's 3 questions you need to answer on your get answer through your sales page. You need to answer who is the course for and name them in the landing page so that if I, as the audience, go to that landing page, I see myself. I'm like, okay, cool, they're talking to me. Because one of the biggest things about marketing is you must have them say, me too, and not so what. You'll hear me say that all the time. Me too, not so what. Because they need to see themselves. They need to know you're talking to them, that you're tapping them on the shoulder saying, hey, this is for you. Because if it's too broad or too out there, they don't know if it's for them. They're going to just pass by. They don't have time for that. All right. What does this help them do? Remember, we talked about knowing the solve. This is where you're going to put that and say, hey, this is, what we do. This is how we do it. We can help you with this program through X, Y, and Z. And then why is this a benefit to them? How is it going to change their lives? How we said we're getting them from point A to point B. How is point B going to look for them? How are they going to feel at point B? What is going to shift, right? I talked to somebody earlier who does healing. If you heal people, how is it going to feel on the other end when they're all healed up? You know what I mean? Like, oh my gosh, you want to put a pep back in your step? You want to wake up every morning and realize there's new positive things on the upfront? Oh, yes. Look, I see it. Look, I'm seeing the comments. I'm reading as you go. Yes, yes. Yep. So who is your course for? What does it help them with? And why is it a benefit to them? Those are the 3 questions I want you to make sure that you can answer through your landing page. But because I like to give you all the details, we're also going to talk about some technical things on the landing page. I wasn't going to include this. I kept taking it out and putting it back in. But I said, no, we're going to give them all the bells and whistles. So again, write it down. Here we go. Everybody got a pen and pencil? All right, here we go. All right, the sections on your sales landing page. You need a headline to capture their audience. First thing, right? You need an opening story to introduce the problem to them. Now, this could be, it doesn't have to be like a story, but it does need to be some type of information to introduce the problem, like what's happening now. How is their life now? Why should they want it to be different, right? Just in case maybe they don't know they have a problem that needs to be solved, we're going to tell them. So make sure you do that. You want to also highlight the benefits of the solution and make it quick, especially in the beginning. You can always do long form where you kind of repeat the same content, but in a different way later. Give them some bullets in the beginning that highlights the benefits of the solve that you're giving them. Let them know the solution of the offer. And then you're going to also let them know what bonuses you're going to include. And I actually have some bonuses for you later we'll talk about. If you do have any testimonials, even if it's on a smaller scale, like just people you've worked with in the same realm of what the course is about, go ahead and put that there. And then, of course, tell them about who you are. Like, why should they buy a course from you? What is your credibility? Don't make it look like a resume too much, but definitely let them know, you've helped, this many people over this amount of time do this amazing thing. If you have books, maybe you've been a bestseller, maybe you've gotten some awards for something. Again, make sure it's in the category. They don't need to know that you worked at Kroger. They don't need to know anything like that. Make sure it's relevant to what you're talking about, but definitely put as much in your instructor bio that will help them, again, know, like, and trust you. A nice FAQ is always nice. You may need to think of these questions yourself because, again, this is a new product, but just common questions they may have. What if I don't hit my target? When will I have access? What happens after I buy? Will I have support? If they're going to get like time to talk to you, maybe it's going to give them some type of group or one-on-one coaching. How do I access this? How often am I going to get this? Whatever the case may be, refund cancellation policies, basic stuff. And if you don't know, guys, again, this is why I always say you need to be somebody who consumes what you sell. Go look at the courses that you should have already purchased for yourself and look at the FAQ sections. Also, I promise you this, because everybody is trying to sell ads and things. If you go searching for courses on any of your social media platforms, I promise you, for the next couple of weeks, you're going to get, even if you just start talking about courses, probably after this video of you listening to me talk about courses, you will start to see ads for other people's courses. Click the link. Hey, that's their business. They're going to have to pay for it through their ad budget, but look at their sales pages and see what does their FAQs look like. What headers are they using? Like, guys, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Sometimes we got to do a little research. Some of you are sitting at home twiddling your thumbs like, I don't know how to do this. Well, go look and see what other people are doing. Don't copy it, but definitely be inspired by it and get it done, or work with somebody like me. I'm gonna throw myself in there real quick. But anyway, FAQ, pricing details with clear call to action. Now, you can decide not to have a price on the landing page if you are going to, maybe it's a higher price point and you're going to do it through a call. So the call to action would be to book the call. But if it's just a standalone course for, $800 or less, you know, you can decide. Your audience. Maybe you want to play with it both ways. You may have to test it out with the pricing up there and without. It's up to you. But again, if you're not going to put the price, you definitely need to have a call to action with them. You may want to do a price and a call to action. If it's at a lower price point, go ahead and just put the price. If you're selling something for like $199, go ahead and put that price and let them go ahead and get up in that course. All right. And then you want to also put in a little bit of risk reversal. So what does that mean? You want to put some type of maybe satisfaction guarantee. Something that I've gotten in quite a few of the courses I have is, hey, we're going to have you do this. It's set up for, 6 months, a year, whatever. But if you don't reach this target of whatever, this amount of money or this amount of return, and you do 90% of the work, we'll give you, more time and more support, that type of thing. I don't like giving just blanketed statements like, oh, if you don't like this, we'll give you a refund. No, because people don't always do the work. I think that the conversion, not the conversion rate, but the rate of people finishing courses is somewhere in like the 30%. If it's even that high, like how many people actually go through from start to finish. And you don't want people going halfway through and then being like, oh, I don't want this anymore, or going through all your content and deciding, oh, I want a refund. If they're going to get a refund for any reason, make sure they've actually done the work. So it's like, oh, you got to, attend this many, if you're having coaching sessions, you got to attend 90% of the coaching calls. You got to do at least 90% of the work. And then we'll, turn that in, and then we will do a refund. Because if they're not doing the work, then of course they're not going to see the result. And a lot of people who are salty about a program usually are the people that are not doing what you tell them to do. So just keep that in mind. So having some type of guarantee is nice. Just be careful about the wording. So that's what your landing page should look like. Now we got to get people to enroll, right? They're like, yes, cool. How do we get people to know about this offer? We have the group made. We're going to DM people. What's DM mean? Direct message. Go ahead and shoot some DMs. Stop playing. Slide in the DMs, y'all. Slide in the DMs and go ahead and get people to realize there is this course. Say, hey, you've been in my community for a while. I actually have this new course that's about to drop. Nobody knows about it yet. And I would like to invite you to take a look and see if this might be right for you, because I think it would. If you have an email list, send it to your email list, right? And tell them, hey, we have a new product that'll be launching, whatever. But because you have been in our community, we like to invite you to get early access. You actually get it at a special rate, that kind of thing, right? And then, of course, you can actually just sell it like normal, as far as like through your normal means. So through your posts, like putting out posts about it on your lives. Like if I had a product, I could talk to you guys about it on my live and say, hey, if you enjoyed this, you might like this new product. You can do it in your reels, your stories, what have you. And then you also could make like a pre-recorded video, and that's actually something that I want to harp on. You either pre-record it or live, but I want you to think about selling this course, pre-selling this course through a webinar. And we've talked about webinars a lot in this community because I'm a webinar person. I like the idea of webinars because you give massive value. They get a small win ahead of time, and then they are really ready to purchase. So if you're gonna do exactly what I say, we're gonna do webinars. If you want to do the other stuff, those are other options as well. I like to give you guys choices. I'm just about the choices. So a webinar, I want you to create a webinar that is congruent, right? Adjacent, parallel to your course, right? It shouldn't be the exact same. It shouldn't even be a video that's in there. It should give somebody who has the issue that can be solved by the course a small win. A small win. And I'm not going to go into the details of how to make the webinar because I've talked about it before. Definitely, if you're in the private community, go back to the live that talks about building a webinar. You also got freebies in the private community. One of the videos is how to create a webinar that converts. So I've done it. It's there. But you're going to create a webinar for your audience. Like I said, in the upsell, because I always tell you have a call to action at the end, is the course. That is the action that you want them to take is, hey, was this a benefit? Did you get massive value? Go ahead and purchase this course because it's going to help you get to the next steps. And it also can make your audience super excited that they are getting kind of this access that not everybody has yet. They get to try out this new thing. I love telling people like you're in the inaugural class, right? Like, oh yay. And it may sound to you like, oh my gosh, but what if it's not good? Well, you as an ethical entrepreneur know, right? If there are any issues that arise, people are confused. One of the lessons is glitchy. One of the resources won't download. Guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna fix it. You're gonna fix it. And because you were upfront and told people, hey, this is new, they're going to be more comfortable with it as long as you fix it quickly and you communicate well. So you tell them they're in the inaugural class. You tell them, hey, if you get this now, you're going to get more hands-on support for less investment, right? And this isn't the same as saying, oh, beta testing. Beta testing these days is kind of pointless. You're going to either do it or not. Like, it's not to create a whole new product later. Most of the things you do will stay. There may just be small tweaks that you make to set products. So again, more hands-on support for less investment, real-time support, and then of course you can give them bonuses. Now, some bonuses you may already have made, and that's kind of cool if you can give them out as soon as they register. So it's like, thank you so much for believing in this program. I know you're gonna love it, but because you signed up now, I'm gonna give you bonuses. You can also put bonuses throughout and say, okay, not only you get the course, but I'm gonna throw in some extra things, templates, guides, extra videos, free tickets to things, whatever the case may be. You can give them downloaded resource, so checklists, worksheets, PDF, guides, access to a private community. Some of you guys are watching from my private community. A session, like a one-on-one call with you, right? A onboarding call. Like, you're not gonna be able to necessarily do that as your product gets bigger and hopefully hundreds, if not thousands of people purchase it. But for the first 40 or so, hey, heck yeah, you can get a call with me, 30-minute quick call. Direct email access. Maybe I call it a liaison. I create a Gmail or something like that, and it's just for a specific group, and they get that direct email access. Monthly live calls, discounts or deals against other products or services, and maybe even give them a cool course completion certificate. I actually was just telling a client the other day, we helped her put a course in. I said, guess what? When they finish, they'll get a certificate. And she's like, oh, that's cool. And it actually works because it's going to be more of, again, licensing through a consulting package. So it's cool that as she sells this to bigger organizations, when their workers, their employees go through the program, she doesn't have to send a note saying, oh, this person completed it. The buyer can say, oh, just bring me your certificate that you finished it. And it's like, yay, when they finish, they get it, and it's automated, which is really great. So those are some of the things that you need to think of and put together as you pre-sale. I think we did good on time today. Yeah, it's been like 40 minutes. We were in there. So let's just recap real quick in case anybody came late. But of course, these videos are always available for replay. You can go whatever platform you're watching it on. You can definitely go back and rewatch. If you're in the private community, it's in your guide section always. If you're in any other groups, just go back into the feed and it should be there. So again, so we talked a little bit about the benefits of pre-selling. So you all are like, yes, I want to pre-sale. So we talked about the fact you can get testimonials, case studies, you can have real-time feedback, you can make quick adjustments. And also the biggest thing is it can literally, fund itself. It's like crowdfunding. Through you doing all of this work and getting people in the door before the product's made, you have people to purchase it. So maybe you have a trial on your course platform. By the time your product launches, you are able to pay for for your access on that platform. Perhaps you do want somebody to make this sales page. Maybe you DM'd a few people and they just, hey, cash apped you, or you sent a PayPal invoice, or maybe you have a CRM system. They went ahead and paid for it. Now you can afford to have somebody make the cool landing page, right? You can afford to have other people do other stuff. If you're trying to do ads, you can have these few people that go first pay for that so that you can get it to more people. And that's the idea. My goal for you guys is never to go broke or be in the hole trying to do this thing called business, right? I know how stressful it is when you have overextended yourself. And I know I don't like the feeling, and I know you don't like the feeling. And so I want to give you as many strategies as I can so that you can make sure that you are always in that profit side. Like, I know how great I felt after year one being like, we're in the black. Like, we finished, we did 3 4 years, I think it was 3 years straight. We were in the black, and then I kind of got a little overzealous, but it's okay. We're gonna be all right soon. But yeah, I was always like, yo, we made profit at the end of every year. And that's not most businesses. That's just not how it works. But I really believe that you can do things affordably. Yes, you may scale slower, but for some of you, especially because I know I service mostly women who are transitioning from their job, they have kids. So many of you got kids going to college. God bless your hearts. And, you got kids that you're taking care of. You got, a household to take care. It's just so much. I know that you just are not in a position to gamble at all. And I know some people might tell you, if you believe in you, you'll do it. Cool. I believe in me too. But I also believe that kids have to eat every day. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. They got to eat, and they don't eat air and positivity. You know what I mean? I tell people all the time, I'm accustomed to a certain type of lifestyle. I don't like gambling that away. Now, you can say what you want. You can say I don't believe in me, whatever. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. If you look at the proof in the pudding, that wouldn't be the case. But I definitely understand that we have responsibilities outside of living life the way we want to live it, right? Having this dream job of being an entrepreneur. And I think that's the reason why a lot of people don't take the leap to entrepreneurship, is because they feel like, I can't, because I have these responsibilities. I have to be rational. But you can be rational and have responsibilities and take care of that, and also build this life to the point where you'll get to a certain point where, yes, it paid off, right? Look, I'm gonna do a little rant real fast. I don't know about you guys, but I hate the movie Pursuit of Happiness. I love Will Smith, don't get me wrong, but I hate that movie because I said, how dare he? You know what I mean? Yes, it worked out for him. I said, but for most people, not having a real job, your woman leaves you because you're not doing what you need to do. You got this kid that you're really neglecting, right? That kid slept in the floor in the bathroom, on the train. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was not a conducive place for that child. Yes, we saw it from his eyes, but how was that kid doing in school? Like, the daycare was awful. It was just, come on, that's not the lives we want our kids to live. He had one shoe during part of that movie. Like, who wants to do that? Right? Who wants to live like that? He was getting kicked out of places. Like, that's not the kind of life we want to live. And I don't want you guys to think you have to hit rock bottom to live this dream. I think I've talked to other entrepreneurs like, oh yeah, I slept in my car, I slept, in the train station. Cool for you. I like my king size bed, y'all. I do. I do. And while I want to be great, I also don't want to sleep on a cot on somebody else in somebody else's house. And you can do, like, you can have it all. You can do this. Again, you have to decide, do you want to go for it, all in and gamble on yourself and hope it works out? And yes, it could. Yes, it could. We know it can, because plenty of people tell you that they did it, but we don't always hear from the people that don't. And I like to be really upfront and transparent because I want us all to win. And if you're okay doing it a little slower in the beginning, I'm gonna help you do that way, right? If you want somebody who's gonna tell you to go sleep on your friend's couch, there are coaches like that, and I suggest you find that person, because I will never tell you to do that. I'm gonna tell you, hey, I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, if you bought a whole bunch, spent 20,000 on ads, you can be great. I tell my sister all the time, if we just went out and, and threw it to the wall, I know we'd be good. But that's not always the trajectory we need to have. That's not always the plan for everybody. So just kind of throwing that out there, that if you're like, well, yeah, this grows slow, because I've had people even in the group say, oh, well, that's just so slow. It is, but that works for some people. And that's the people I service. All right, so back to this, just this quick recap before I went on the tangent. We talked about the benefits of pre-sale, and we talked about you're going to build a community on one or two platforms where you can be consistent, and also where your audience is mostly active. You're going to give massive value around the topics that apply to your course. You're going to ask them questions about what they want and they need before you spend all your time and efforts making that course. You're going to make a simple sales page, and then you're going to start the process of enrolling students, whether it's through DM, through email, through posts, lives, reels, stories, etc. And then I would love for you guys to create a webinar that funnels people, and it's a lead magnet, y'all. It's a lead magnet that funnels people. They get a little win, and then they go into your call to action, which should be to purchase the course. All right. So that's what we're gonna do. That's how we're gonna get it done. And I would encourage you to start pre-selling courses. Like, and don't wait forever. Every time I talk to somebody and they're like, "Oh yeah, in December," it's like, "But we only in February." Get this done, y'all. And what I often tell you is this. And if you've ever talked to me, I say this all the time. Because people are like, "What if this happens?" Guys, if somebody writes you a check and they buy it, you gonna make it happen. A lot of you are procrastinators, and if somebody actually would pay you for the service, you're ethical, because I only work with ethical people. You gonna make it happen. You gonna get it done. You gonna make them slides. You gonna do the presentations, whether they gotta be live and then put in the system. You're going to do them. So stop being afraid of, what if I don't make the product? You're gonna make this product. Right. And the cool part is if you get enough people to purchase your course, you can hire me to make you finish that product. so that's the cool part, right? That's why I help people pre-sell. I'm like, hey, we can get this done real quick, and then they can go ahead and invest in the bigger packages so we can do things more consistently and have everything automated and fun. Right. Sometimes we just got to do the small steps to get to the bigger steps. So that is our talk for tonight. Next week, where is my little thingy here? What are we talking about next week? Do I have it here? Let's see. Next week, we are going to be talking about, okay, cool. Yeah. Building a community, how to create an audience of buyers. That is next Monday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, if you want to watch any of the past videos, Instagram, sorry, this is y'all's first one. So there are no past ones here. But you can always join us in our Facebook private community. Again, when I say pick one or two platforms, Facebook is my ride or dies. My A1 since day one. We have a community there. But I'm going to be better. We've decided I'm going to be better with video content on lots of my platforms. But actually, Instagram, LinkedIn, everybody but YouTube's been getting consistent love for a couple of years as far as social media posts. So you guys have been getting tips. You just haven't been getting video content. So we're going to do better in 2023 getting you guys all the video content. So you guys are going to see me more consistently in some type of video format everywhere, including shout out to LinkedIn, y'all. I would pat myself on the back because I've been really doing my thing on LinkedIn. It only took 1,000 years, but I'm there now. So yeah, you guys will get more content as well. And as always, if you have a topic you want me to cover, let us know. If you're on our email list, every time we send out the reminder for our Monday night talks, it actually has a space. It actually has a space where you guys can tell us what topics you're interested in. And that's why I release the topics a month at a time, so that if people have topics that are pressing and they have questions, I can hopefully do those, whether they hit a Monday night talk or if they just are on one of the lives. And if I see where you guys are coming from, I will post it to that platform to make sure that you get it. All right, fair enough. All right, so I will see you guys back for sure next Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But again, if you want to see me before that, I'm always on Facebook. They probably get a live almost every day. And the rest of you guys will see me more often as well, but I don't make no promises when. But you will see me more often. Thank you guys for watching, and I will talk to you all soon. Have a great night.